Yeah, it looks like it is. Sorry about that. As I fully accuse these in the rabbis' corrections, in the only instance where we differ, have adopted. Let's get back here. Is that two of them going back and forth? The rabbis reply and the author's remark upon it. Okay, yes, that's to that Christian person. Okay, that's why he's saying he adopted the view of Dr. Blaney that the destruction by fire there denounced applies to Sidon rather than to Tyre, etc. And he carries on. Interpretation of Zechariah, interpretation chapter 11. Okay, it's probably still this Christian person going on about Christ, etc., etc. So, yeah, we're pretty sure it's still the same guy. I'm going to try to get to the page where you can see the rabbi's reply. The spiritual blindness which has since darkened the mental vision of Israel appears to the Christian to be here distinctly foretold. That's prophesied that they'll be blinded, to the truth and all that sort of stuff, to the scriptures, whatever. Next to chapter 10, 11. Trying to find the rabbi's reply. Here's a reply. The rabbi's translation. Okay. His exposition. This is him. Chapter 11, the Rabbi's exposition, chapter 11. Verse 1. This prophecy Christians cannot but consider impenetrable and must be satisfied to break off a few fragments which may serve to cement their religion, for in whatever manner they expound the import of the two staves, they must still be incompetent to link its various parts together so as to show that it refers to what they think it necessarily must, namely the selling of the Messiah, an interpretation which an impartial examiner must find inconsistent with that passage, even if disjoined from all the rest, since their wages or reward, not price, is spoken of. This being desired or required of Israel, while with him who was sold it was quite the reverse, etc., etc. He goes through his explanation. He's using the Hebrew interpretation of chapter 12 of Zechariah. Could still be the rabbi, we believe. How shall we say when we then understand the expression that day so often recurring in the prophecy? The answer appears to be simply this, that it means one day to each individual, but not the same day to all collectively. As the earlier Christians did not all embrace Christianity on one day, so neither have we Jews, I guess, or his Jews, him being a Jew, and the Jews, have reason to expect that the later Christians will do so. Or modern, probably. History declares to the contrary, that some of the house of Israel have been continually flowing into the Church of Christ in every succeeding century, from the apostolic age to the present time. And as some understand the day of judgment to be each individual the day of his death, so to each will be the day of his redemption. In scriptural language, be the day of his receiving Christ, etc., etc. Goes into great detail on what is actually being, what's written and what's actually being said. Notes on chapter 12 of Zechariah. The rabbi's exposition and the author's remarks. Zechariah chapter 13 interpreted. Okay, it probably is like that to the end of the book. So I've got to jump a bit. Go back a bit, back one page because something there just caught our attention, caught our eye. What's this verse? Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. The nations must signify here as elsewhere the Gentiles or pagans, whose spiritual hostility against true religion was shown as before stated by their corrupting and paganizing Christianity, while the judgment denounced against him consists in God's permitting the rise of the two great anti-Christian usurpations, papacy and Mohammedanism. 1. The man of sin, spoken of by St. Paul, 1 Timothy 4, 1 and 2, Thessalonians 2, 3, a spiritual tyranny, enslaving the minds of men, and the other, the abomination of desolation, mentioned by Daniel chapter 8, verses 10 to 12, and as he expressly foretold, permitted by reason of transgression, or as a judgment on the world, its arrowed object being propagation of religion by the sword. The division of the corrupt form of religion, then prevailing into these two anti-Christian apostasies, is thus foreshown, and so forth. It's like, okay, there's a written debate by these two, a rabbi and a Christian. It's like us being the minister of the real truth and showing these people through our videos the original ancient Tav Asher, Old Testament, right, from the Lishana Artica Saprea, sacred scribal language of God, into the nearest English equivalent, as translated by a native-born Aramaic-speaking translator, filmmaker, Mesopotamian historian buff from Bet Narain or Mesopotamia, Syria. Yeah? And they're trying to come at us and say, well, no, my Bible, my NIV, or my KJV is the one, it's no contradictions, no errors, it's the exact words of God, where we know Mark 15:34 is a second or third generation transliteration, okay, from the Arabic and the Greek. But they say, oh no, there's no, you know, and then other people out there, Christians, etc., look at it, the King James Version, and say, hey, there's an error here, there's a contradiction here, whatever, okay? Yeah, there's always a flaw somewhere, okay, in these Americanized modern English Bible versions, these translations, okay, bad transliterations into places, etc., because they're coming from a source which through the centuries supposedly corrupted them, okay, and then they passed on, they go from the old Germanic into the Latin to the Old English, Middle English, down to modern days, Americanized, modern Americanized English translations, etc., etc., professed by committees, etc., to be translating from the original long dead, no longer written or spoken languages, when they're clearly not. They're from the modern vernacular or derivatives, modern versions, right? Okay, so they must have had to use a certain method to translate these old, no longer written, no longer spoken long dead languages. They've gone the way of the dinosaur or the dodo, such as the Old Latin has, the Old Norse, the Old Germanic, and the Old English, Middle English, etc. Right? Okay. Nobody uses those, or speaks, or writes, or very rarely writes them anymore. Right? The Latin, we're not too sure on that one. But yeah, they're all long dead languages. Okay. So these people have to use a modern vernacular or dialect of those old languages, right? That's why there were, later on, they'd probably refer to them as Neo-Aramaic or Neo, etc., etc. They're new, they're modern, okay? In that sense that they're trying to get it across, okay? They're modern vernaculars, modern dialects, modern versions, okay? Because you would have to use a certain method, as Victor N. Alexander has done, to translate those original ancient manuscripts into the nearest English equivalent. Okay? You'd have to be an expert, right? And then what they do is they revise them, and then they revise them 3 times, okay? With a committee of 70 or whatever, whoever, 1966, 1967, and then they open it up to the public, who then, they may send them some emails or something, say, oh, well, we don't really feel comfortable with that, it should really be this and that. So they go, oh, okay, and they change it, all right? Instead of being the experts that know, right? Because there's obviously times when they don't know that word. It could mean this, it could mean that, it could be this word, could be that word, etc., etc. So many similar that they go, okay, let's choose one, okay, that we believe fits it. Okay, they're not like what's his name, the Egyptian hieroglyphics translator Wallace Budge, where supposedly there were lines in their text or whatever, and he guessed accurately what those words were, whereas someone like Breasted or whoever followed after him were paid to keep it that way, right? Keep it blank. They put the lines in and all that sort of stuff. So the public will never know what the hell was being said, right? They were paid to do that. They're what they call them, shills. Okay, they're paid by higher ups to put that sort of corrupt garbage out, right? Put it out as it is, okay, with those blanks and all that sort of stuff. We don't really want them to know. That's why the Roman Catholic Church was afraid when the Dead Sea Scrolls were first sort of found, being translated or whatever. Damn, get somebody in there because, just in case it turns out that it says something completely different, and we've got to lose our people and we've got to lose our money, right? Okay. And that's all they're worried about, really, is money. What goes in the coffers, how much money they can make. Well, that sort of stuff. There's like your modern preacher evangelist today is very, very popular, like Guy Smiley, Joel Osteen, whatever. Kenneth Copeland, what's the other guy that does the hypnotism with one wave of his hand, everybody, all the crowd goes to sleep. It's like, what's his name? Benny Hill. Not Benny Hill. Benny Hinn. People like that, right? Okay. They're all in it for the money, Like apparently there's a report that he took the $5 off this last little old lady, right? He went round the back and he said to his team, got her last $5, And then here's just like a garage of 5 cars in or something like that, go-karts and all this sort of stuff, airplanes, all this excessive stuff. Well, maybe somebody's in an alleyway, out on homeless or whatever, and then 25 rooms and they can't spare this guy, put this guy in a room, maybe clean him up and, make him feel better, change his life, preach to him the Christ as they're supposed to do. It's all about money, money, And I say, oh, no, it's not. You can see, why would you have a 25-room mansion, right, with nobody in it? Maybe just your team in 5 rooms, and the rest of the 20 are empty, right? Okay. Why would you have this flash-ass jet with a public, with a runway and your own personal fuel tank, gas tank or petrol tank or whatever, right? And all this sort of stuff. Do you need that? Can you not just live like a humble person? You know, like not so extravagant. Yeah, sure, you keep collecting this wage or whatever, you're making some money, right? What's that, 50713 or something, where you don't pay tax, right? Okay. They're milking it. That's why they're saying to people, the Bible says you must tithe, you must plant a seed, so send us a seed, to reap a harvest. Send us 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, and you surely be blessed. And you end up with nothing. You're gullible. You gave all your money to this scam artist, right? Yeah. You gave it to him legally, and he's milking it, right? He's getting fatter and fatter from these donations, because he said to people, well, the Bible says if you love Israel, if you love God, you've got to love Israel. So you've got to give some money to plant some trees, olive trees over there, all this sort of crap, right? So people think, oh yeah, if I pay money, I'm going to reap a harvest. What's the thing behind it? I'll get rich. I'll get a lot of money. God will give me all this money. I'll be blessed with lots and lots and lots of money. Because they're greedy. Okay, so that's basically it. Debate between the two. Okay. Who's right, who's wrong, basically. We'd go with the rabbi, because, out of a, let's say, out of 10, maybe, we'd go with the rabbi. We'd say 8 with the rabbi. 7. We'd go 7 with the rabbi, because you don't know if he's actually... it's like his Jewish religion, right? His Judaism. Obviously, he's going to promote it. He's going to want to put it as the God-given, the chosen, whatever, his motive is behind the scenes. That's the whole thing. Any religion will promote their religion as the best, or, the one with the only true writings, etc., etc., chosen by God, blessed by God. Everybody else is the devil, the Antichrist, all this sort of stuff, right? Look at them. They just said this, so they're the devil, they're sons of Satan, all this sort of stuff, right? It's all motive, propaganda, agenda and propaganda, right? Everybody wants to be at the top of the ladder. And anyone else that's coming up, the opposition, your competition, they'll boot them off by defaming them, undermining them, saying, accusing them, pointing the finger at them, you believe in monogamy or polygamy or whatever, right? Satan, all this sort of stuff. And they'll try to convince their people, they're the devil, right? But what we're finding is, from reading all these books and stuff, that they may not necessarily be like that. Okay, they may be being duped by their hierarchy, the people at the top, say the JWs with the Watchtower, because what the Watchtower says, supposedly we've been told by JWs, that they sit on this panel or something, and they go through all this research, all this sort of stuff, and then pass it down to these little guys, right? Okay, their adherents, and then they totally believe it. Okay, all this sort of stuff. Mormons probably do the same. Okay, they're all relying on these people up the top to give them that advice, answer their questions, right? To make them, assure themselves that this is what the scripture says, blah blah blah, and we're on the right path. We're not straying. We're on the way to heaven. All this sort of stuff. Then they come up with all these silly ideas. Only us are going to get into the kingdom of heaven. Nobody else. Jesus was created. Blah blah blah. He's actually an Archangel Michael. This sort of stuff, right? Yeah, they make up all this stuff, and then they say it's true. It's true. When we realise, we're awake. We've come to realise, through personal research, study, whatever, of their religion, their writings, all this other stuff, and looking at behind the scenes. Okay, that's what you call investigative journalism. See, people don't do enough work They're just, oh yeah, okay, the elders said that, the ones at the top said that, so it's all true. Okay, we won't question it because they get told not to question it, right? Okay, this is what we found, and this is what you've got to believe. If you don't believe it, well, here's some punishment for you. You know, if you don't conform, well, you're going to get excommunicated, expelled, deprived, ousted, kicked out, whatever, for a time or forever, or whatever, right? Now you can't see your family anymore. They're part of the church. They're all control freaks, right? So you need to break away from all of that. Get out of it, you know. Get away from these organized religions that do that. They're the puppet master, and you're the little puppet, okay? And you're like pulling your strings. Okay, you're totally dependent on them. Be a free thinker. Think for yourself, you know. Do all the research, etc., for yourself. This is what we're here for, to help people to wake up and realize you're being duped. You're being tricked, hoodwinked. You're not even aware of it. You're so stuck in that puppet mode, that we try to present you the real truth of what this original, ancient, very old manuscripts in the Hebrew and the Aramaic, the Tav Asheret and the Tav Ivri, etc., actually say, and what they actually mean. You're like, oh no, we are this religion, and our high up say this and that, and you are wrong, and all this. Is like, what? I just showed you the evidence, You're dogmatic. You don't want to know the truth. You're saying, I'm looking for the truth, but you don't really. You're not really looking for the truth. Right? If the truth is presented to you, even by Christ himself, he's standing right in front of you, says, here is the truth, right? And you go, oh, no, it's not. Come on, man. It's like some people that say, I speak the Aramaic really, really well. This Victor Ian Alexander, he says this wrong. He says a Vishmaya instead of a Bishmaya or whatever, right? Oh, I know better than him because I went to a seminar. I went to a Bible college and I paid money at a university to learn Aramaic. Modern Aramaic. Not what, because he's a natural, he's a natural born Aramaic speaking person from Mesopotamia, Syria. Okay, he's fluent in it. He knows many, many dialects of the Aramaic, etc., right? Plus Norwegian, because his wife is a Norwegian, right? Okay, so they say, I know it better than him. Oh my goodness, you know it better than a fluent speaker? Man, you must be on some good drugs. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. And if you really like this video, then you know what to do. Give us a like, subscribe to our channel, add your comments underneath the video, and we'll get back to you on those as soon as the apocalypse is over. Just a second. We'll get back to you on those as soon as possible, and then go share this video, this very, very informative video, with your family, friends, and others, and it may wake them up. They may realize, oh, I didn't know that. Wow, thank you for that. We just see this video. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Ministry of the Real Truth. Go check it out.